Come and check out this cute top that I made using the Golden Rule System by Lutterloh International. Hi YouTube, I'm Crystal of Crystalsewsandstuff.com. Welcome back to the channel where I share sewing pattern reviews, sewing tips and techniques, and other fun related content. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my review of the Golden Rule System by Lutterloh International. So the Golden Rule System is based on the concept of proportional body measurement. So for example, your body height is 8 times the length of your head. The span of your outstretched arms is your total height. So things of that nature, it really is based on that your body is proportional. And so I really like this concept. And the system gives you 280 patterns, and then you're able to go ahead and expand those patterns and use your body measurements to create a pattern for yourself. So now let me share with you what you receive with the Golden Rule System. So it comes in this nice yellow box, and it indicates that it was founded in 1935, and it also shows that it is available in several different languages here. In the box you receive a DVD of the Golden Rule System, and if you don't have a DVD player, this is also available here on YouTube for you to check out, and I'll leave a link in the description box so you can check out this overview of the program. You also receive this quick pamphlet which gives another overview of how to use the system, and so it shows you, it has a little mini ruler, and then it also has a body measurement, and then it shows you where to put in your body measurements, so your bust measurements and your hip measurements. And so like this one shows you how to go ahead and mark off the vest here on the cover, so it tells you how to go ahead and do that. And so this is just a quick mini overview, and so it also has some extra patterns here on the back for the shorts, as well as this top right here. And then the main thing that you receive is this notebook, and in the notebook you receive a ruler, a paper ruler, and it has a curved edge as well as a straight edge for matching up your lines and your curves in the system. And then you also receive this package, which has your specialty ruler for marking out your pattern pieces, and I'll show you how I did that in a minute. But it has indicators here in centimeters for you to mark off your bust measurement as well as your hip measurement, and it's all in centimeters on this side for the system, and it's a regular centimeter ruler on the back. You can go ahead and check your bust and hip measurements with this side in centimeters. And then it also comes with this marker for you to go ahead and trace out your patterns, a roll of tape, and 2 push pins. So something else that you will need is something to go ahead and push your pins into, and what I used was this Dritz cardboard ruler board, and you can pick it up at your local sewing store. So this is just basically a piece of cardboard with different marking indicators in centimeters and inches that you could pick up from Joann's or your other local store. You also receive a roll of tracing paper with the Lutterloh system for you to draw out your pattern pieces. So in this notebook, which is my favorite part of the system, are all the wonderful patterns. So, but at the beginning of the book, you have an introduction by Sylvia Lutterloh, the creator of the system, and then you also have how to measure your bust and your hip measurement. So then they have indicators of how to use the system. So you go ahead and tape your diagram down. You use the push pins to mark out your markings according to the lines here, and then you use your ruler to mark the dots. And then you match all the dots, connect the dots, and then you go ahead and trace out your pattern, and then you also make sure you add your seam allowance So, and then this explains the golden rule system, like I indicated before, about your body height and measuring up to 8 times your head. So everything about that is listed here about how the golden rule system works. And then they explain to you how to use the fabric requirements, and also that you get fashion supplements yearly if you want, 4 times a year if you want to go ahead and keep updated on their newest releases of patterns. They also have special editions for children, men, classic fashion, as well as extra large fashion editions. Then you have your symbols page, which shows you basically how to sew up the pattern according to the diagram, because all of these symbols are on the diagrams, including the pattern that you choose. So your front, your back, your side, your sleeves, straight grain, cutting line, gather, elastic, facing, zipper. Then they have indicators for slim figure patterns, fuller figure patterns, knitting patterns, maternity wear, and contrasting color patterns. You also get some sewing tips like how to make buttonholes, embroider buttonholes, how to sew on fasteners, hooks and eyes, and lace holes, how to make lace holes, how to make pockets, different types of pockets, how to insert your sleeves, how to create a collared tie bow, how to do sleeve placket, how to make loops. So you get a lot of information here, some basic knitting tips here. So now let me show you some of the cool patterns that you get. So they have patterns for men, women, and children. So I love this jumpsuit right here. This is a cute jacket with a flounce. This is a nice dress, and you have the option to do sheer sleeves. I really like that. Cute tops, a coat dress or a jacket dress here, and a cute A-line skirt, a skirt with pleats on the bottom, a bow tie, some traditional wear here, shirt dresses, a nice full tulle skirt and outfit, cute, swimwear cover-ups, wrap tops, boho style tops, just a lot of options. Menswear, oversized sweaters, sweatshirt patterns, this is what I'll be sewing, this number 66, this nice flounce top. You have children's patterns as well, coats, pants, nice, this is a really cute sweatshirt with nice inserted pockets, a parka. So there are a lot of really great patterns for you to choose from here. This is a really cute dress with nice fluttered sleeves. Then you also have vintage style patterns. Undergarments, so you have a slip and sleep shorts and a cute tank top. Really cute skirts, classic skirts, nice cute mermaid style skirts. Cute zipped up skirt, nice cute tank top, pleated skirts, more kids patterns, beach wear, you also have aprons, long apron, short apron, corsets, waist belts. They have fuller size patterns here. Nice heavier coats. Look at this really nice coat. Looks like a leather coat and a puffy coat. So a lot of things for you to go ahead and choose from in this pattern booklet. So you never run out of patterns, but if you even want more, you can do the supplemental patterns as well that are issued 4 times a year. Okay, so today I'm going to be working on pattern number 66 from the Lutterloh pattern book. And this is a really cute top pattern with, it has nice flutter sleeves and a V-neck, and then like 2 tiers right here on the bottom. So today I'm going to be tracing out the pattern using the pattern from the book. So what I did was, first I made a copy of the pattern sheet on the back of the pattern sheet. So this is what the pattern looks like on the front, and then on the back you have your pattern number 66, and then it has the pattern numbers on the pattern shapes on the pattern pieces. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and trace out the pattern piece according to the guide, the video guide that comes with the program. So what I did first was I went on ahead and I made a copy of the pattern sheet, and then I folded it up just to piece number A, which is the front bodice. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and trace out the pattern according to my measurements. So when you're creating a pattern using the pattern piece guide, what you want to do is you mark out your pattern according to your bust measurement for everything above the waistline. This is the waistline marking. And everything below the waistline, you use your hip measurement. And everything is the metric system, so in centimeters. And so it comes with this cool ruler where you can go ahead and use this as a guide to go ahead and mark out the dots for your pattern pieces. So since my bust measurement is 94, I'm going to put my push pin into the ruler at 94, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that in this middle crosshair right here. So I'm going to put that right in the middle here. Now I'm going to go ahead and line it up to this line where it says 16 with the ruler, and then I'm going to make a mark right at the 16 centimeter line for my first mark, and then I'm going to move it over to number 9 for the next mark, and then over to 14.5 centimeters for the next mark, and then 10.5 for the next mark. And then I'm just going to continue with all of the marks according to the guide. Done all of the above waistline measurements, and also the one at the waist measurement is supposed to also be using the bust measurement. And then for the below waist measurement lines, you're going to go ahead and use your hip measurement. And so what you have to do is choose your hip measurement, and my hips are 109, and if you're on an odd number, you're supposed to go up to the next even number. So I'm choosing 110, and I'm gonna put that on the crosshairs, and then go ahead and mark everything that is below the waist measurement here. So I'm gonna mark 42 on this line, and then over here I'm marking 41 over here. Now that I have all the dots marked, I'm going to go ahead and connect the dots to create the pattern. So first I'm going to connect the straight lines. And then I'm going to connect the curved lines. So next I'm adding seam allowance, and I'm using my Stitch Buzz ruler to go ahead and mark out the seam allowance. So I've added 5/8 to this end, and so now I'm using the curved end to go ahead and add 5/8 inch seam allowance to all the sides. So after you have your pattern pieces all traced out, you want to make sure you go back and add all of your markings. So this pattern, you have to add the waistline marking. You also have to add your drawstring marking, and it indicates that you go up 15 centimeters, and then you add your waistline marking, and then it's 2 centimeters wide. And then for the facings, it tells you to measure down 18 centimeters and then measure across 3 centimeters in order to make the shape of the neckband facing, as well as for the underarm facing. You have these markers here to mark out your underarm facing, and then on the back you have your back underarm facing as well as your neckband facing. And then you have these lines that indicate that this pattern piece is cut on the fold right here on the front, and then this section is cut out for you to get your front neck slit. And then on the back piece, it's indicated that this section is marked out on the fold. For your flounce, it's just one piece. And then you have your drawstring measurement here. And then you also have your front flounce here. And then there's cutting line indicators here, as well as on your back flounce, there's cutting line indicators here. And you also want to make sure you go ahead and add your grain line markings for all your pattern pieces. Okay, so when you're done, you're going to have the following pattern pieces. So I have the front piece cut on the fold, and then I have the markings for the facings on both sides, and I've added seam allowance to it, and I've added a marking for the drawstring. And then for the back, that's cut on the fold, and then you have with the lined areas, that's where the facings, you trace out your facings, and I've added seam allowance there. And then you have your back tier, and I modified it so it could be cut on the fold. And then you have your front tier pieces, lower tier pieces, and then you have your facings that I use from the dash lines over here. So I have a front facing, this is the back, these are the armhole facing. So you have your front armhole facing and your back armhole facing, and then you also have your front facing and front neck facing, and then your back neck facing. And those were used using these front dash areas, and then the neck holes using the back. Armholes were used using these dash lines, and I already added the seam allowances to those. So you also have your drawstring pattern piece as well as your sleeve flounce. And so those are all the pattern pieces that you need to sew number 66 from the Lutterloh Golden Rule pattern book. So that is how I went on ahead and traced out my pattern pieces for pattern number 66, this cute top. And so it's a fairly straightforward process where you just mark out your dots, and then you connect the lines. You connect your straight lines and then your curved lines, and then you check the diagram for all of your markings, so like your facings, as well as whether things are cut on the fold and everything. And then you also go ahead and add your seam allowance. So it's a very straightforward process and easy to understand concept. So I do like that you get so many patterns to choose from within the booklet. So I really think that you would enjoy all of the patterns in there. There are a lot of patterns that are very classic and will stand the test of time. And then they, like I said before, they also have supplements quarterly for you to pick up too. So to keep everything fresh, they have new patterns that come out every quarter for you to go ahead and pick up. Now let me tell you about the sewing process of this pattern. So the pattern only has a few pattern pieces. You have your front cut on the fold, and then you have the back that's also cut on the fold, and then you have these two flounce sleeves, and then you have your front tier pieces. You cut this part twice, and then you have your back tier piece as well, and I decided to do mine on a fold to make it just one long pattern piece, so I like that. And then there are slits in the front, so I really like the front slits right here, and then there are slits on the side as well, so I really like those. And I just serged and sewed those down, so I really like how those turned out. So it was a really easy process to sew. So basically I sewed the front to back at the shoulder seams, and then I attached the facing. So I attached the facing and then cut a cut a slit down the facing, and I just made sure to get my point really straight. I drew lines down the center front in order to get the V-neck straight, and then I kind of lowered my stitch length once I got closer to the point. So that's what I did for the facing. And then for the flounce, that was pretty easy. So as I was sewing, I decided I'd just go ahead and omit the armhole facing, serge the seams right here instead of adding the armhole facings. So that was pretty easy. And then for the drawstring, I do like the look of, when I tried it on, I did like the look of it without the drawstring attached, so I decided to leave that off and make it so I could wear it either on or off. Okay, and so this is how it looks with the drawstring. So I like it both ways. So I just did a, just a long loop using the measurements, and I just made like four. I made 4 of the pieces, and I just attached them because I didn't have one long length by the time I was done using the fabric. So I just went on ahead and just made one really long drawstring to wear on the outside, so that way I can just switch it up. Sometimes I want to wear it with a drawstring and sometimes I won't. So I went on ahead and just added it like this. And so I really love how this turned out. It's really cute. And so the fabric that I use is a really cute crepe print. It's like a snake skin kind of print that I picked up from Joann's a while ago. So I really love this print. It's really cute, and it's in my favorite color, navy blue. And so I really loved how it turned out in this pretty print. So it's just really nice. I love these flounce sleeves because you can do a little shimmy with it. And so I really like how the sleeves turned out. And so for this fabric, I only needed about 1.5 yards of fabric. And they do list the fabric requirements on the pattern sheet, but it's in the metric system. So you can just work out, Google it, or ask Alexa, how many inches are in it or whatever, if you don't want to do the math yourself. What is 140 centimeters in yards?
140 centimeters is about 1 yard, 2 feet.
Yeah, so this is like 140 centimeters is like a yard, 1.2 yards of fabric, and then 150 by 150 centimeters, so about 56-inch wide length of fabric. So it's really easy for you to go ahead and convert things to the English system if that's what you're used to. But I found it pretty easy to go ahead and work through using the metric system. I do like the shaping. There is a little shaping right here at the curves. The only pattern changes that I made is I did raise up the waistline by 1 inch because I'm short and short-waisted and all of that. And then I also took a little bit off right here at the bottom. I took 3 inches off of the bottom because it was coming down a little too low, and I wanted it to hit me just, I wanted the bottom to hit at the bottom of my hip level. So I really love how this turned out and everything. Now here's some quick pics and twirls of me wearing top number 66 from the Golden Rule system. Alright, that is my review of the Lutterloh Golden Rule system. I think it's a great system if you really enjoy creating your own patterns, and if you have some pattern skills, sewing skills under your belt, this is a great system for you. So if you already know basic garment construction about how things are put together, like if you already know how to
sew a facing, sew a dart, your basic order of operations for sewing any pattern. I think this is a great system for you. So there are a lot of things that come with it, so you'll never really run out of patterns because there are 280 patterns already included in the system, and they won't take up a lot of space because you just have it in this program. So I really like that. It is very space saving, and it's great for those of you who like to sew things your own way, and you like to, if you like to add your own seam allowances to things, if you want to do different seam allowances. So some people like to do 5/8 seam allowances on everything, some people like to do 1/2 inch, and some people like to vary their seam allowances. So like on necklines and things like that, sometimes you want to make your own seam allowance and make it 3/8 instead of 5/8. So this is a good pattern for you to go ahead and make those different changes that you want to your pattern, so you can be in control of seam allowances and things of that nature. So that is my review of the Golden Rule system by Lutterloh. So let me know what you think about the system, and if you've tried it before, go ahead and let me know about that in the comment section below, so that, and also so everybody else can know what you thought about the program. And anyway, I'll leave a link to the system below so you can go ahead and check it out. All right, until next time, I hope you all are having a great day. Take care. Bye.